we're going inside and build a Murphy bed. You ready? All right. Kai's going to help me. Come on. I need some lights in here. Okay. I've been looking forward to this for a couple of months. So let's get to it. I ordered the hardware kit online for a Murphy bed. Whoa. I may have to read for a while, I'm not sure. I know some things will be under tension, some won't. I'm going to read directions for a little while. Wow, queen size Berlin. All right, I'll be back. What will look like almost immediately, but it's probably I'm going to be an hour or so just soaking all this in, how to do it. Well, I'm ready to make the Murphy bed finally. I've been actually working on this for about 2 hours, and this is just planning and trying to figure. There's a lot of angles to be figured out to make a desk/table that will go on here and fold up and all that. So I just wanted to bring you up to date where I'm at right now. I turned it around just so I think there was glare coming off the windows, so that would help. So this represents the exterior, the U-shaped part that the bed will come up and fold into. So I've done a lot of calculating. I want the top of the bed height at 25 inches. So I had to do this is just a mock-up. This represents the depth of the bed. The bed is going to fold down that way. To the top of the bed will be 25 inches. And then the table that we're going to do is going to be 30 inches. So that's another compounds the situation. So I've drilled a hole where I want it to pivot. I should do it. This will be on the inside. But so you have the bed here. This is the frame, so to speak, and that's going to come down like that. So that's all well and good. That's that part. The next part is in order to support what will be the table, I needed an arm to come off of here. You'll see more of it as we go, but I had to start somewhere, huh? So actually, I guess I've got to do a little cut. This will the tabletop will sit. How do I hold that? Will sit right here, and after I get all of this figured out, I'm going to trim this up and pretty it up a little bit just to give it a little design. So the table will be 3/4 of an inch thick, and on the back there'll be 1x4 pine. So that's that. So first I need to cut out, I've already marked a couple of lines here. This is going to slide up and down inside of this bolt. So we'll cut that out. Okay, so it will become painfully clear. Well, maybe not painfully. I know, whatever. Okay, I'm just going to set that on. It'll be a little bit loose. I could use about eight hands right here. So this will be like that. There will be a certain attach point right here. Looks like I need to work on this angle a little bit. This should be a tight angle. I'll change that a little bit. So when the bed is picked up, when it goes up like that, this will go up as well. So when the bed is up, the table will lay flat. That's the plan. That is really a rough sketch. So I need to fine tune that just a little bit to make sure we're good with the angle this way. And then we'll go on to using real stuff. All right, so the first thing to do is I'm going to build the bed frame. That'll be out of 1x8, and I've got all the measurements ready. So I'll cut that. Probably, likely, definitely, we'll be putting this together in the tiny house because it's going to get heavy, bulky. So there we go. Let's go cut some pieces. These are the two side pieces for the bed. They were 60 inches long, 1x8. I've mounted one of the pivot brackets on here temporarily. It says to use screws, but I don't really trust that. So I'm going to drill through and mount a bolt and nut. So first thing, so I've mounted it so I can back those screws out and drill it in place. These are some bolts I had. Hopefully they're long enough. Boy, that's really tight. So it's a trip to the hardware store. These are 1 inch. I need another 1/4 inch. I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Quick trip into town. I picked up some Phillips flathead machine screws, 1/4x20 coarse thread, and I picked up a bag of neoprene locking nuts. And I also picked up some cabinet screws that are going to work great because some of the screws will be exposed, so that'll work well. So I'm ready to drill a hole, and I already drilled this one. Let's see if it fits now. The other one was just, oh, that's perfect. Perfect. Hey, might be good to mark this. So I'm going to put one on top of the other. And I'll just drill these two. Then I'll know that they're both in the same spot, both sides. Just start a pilot hole. Yeah, that'll be great. Good. Nice and solid. All right, now I'll do this other one. Then we're ready to go out and put it together. These will be added on to the exterior frame to line up with these. And the tiny house is about to get tinier. So this is kind of a critical thing, the pivot point that's going to mount into this vertical piece. So the bed will be like this. I'm going to secure the plywood onto the bottom, so I don't want to keep moving this around. So I'm putting this together upside down, actually. Like that. Another way big day. Oh, my head. And then these. Going to be secured like that. I might as well start right here. I'll pre-drill and then use those cabinet screws as a decorative look for it. All right. All right. And it begins. These use a Torx bit. All right. Need a little more room. I'll be putting 4 in each one to hold it together. So I screwed those 3 sides together, and I started one in here. Everything's lining up really well. with the cabinet screws. They weren't grabbing enough, so I'm using 3-inch, basically sheetrock screws, because they have a lot more grip. So what we want is 60 by 80. That's a queen size, perfect 80, and then this way, 60. Okay, so that's the size. It takes up a fairly good chunk of room. The wood stove is going to be over on this side, so that's out of the way. It's a wall mount, or it will be a wall mount. I need to calculate the cuts for the plywood. It's going to be 3/4 inch plywood. This plywood is for the bed, for the bed of the bed, for the bottom, 81.5 by 4 feet, and then I'll do another one, 81.5 by 13.5, and that will cover the outside of the frame all the way around. I started cutting, then I thought, I ought to record this. I went all the way around the perimeter and marked 6-inch spaces, so I know I can put the screws in and they'll be a little more decorative looking. So I think we ought to bring this one in, and we'll screw this one on, and then I'll cut the other one. And there we go. The start of a bed. The plywood will actually square the frame, so that's good. First one. Yeah, I like that. That's going to look really good. I just have this one side to finish screwing off, and then I'll go cut the other one. The bed frame's all put together. Got the bottom on, and I'll be building some support for that to make it a little stronger. I need to get the measurement to the pivot pin down on the bottom. This is the bottom of the bed. It'll set up there like that, and then it'll lay out. You'll see that in a bit. But I need a measurement from there to the top, so I know where or how long to make the sides and the top. So that's the next thing. So it's a couple of measurements, because this will be sitting up off the floor, so I've got to calculate that. And oh yeah. So 54 3/4. So it's basically 55 to the pivot, and then I've got to figure out inside. So we'll go inside and figure that out. So in the tiny house, the bed height is 56 inches to here, and I just have to add this amount, and then I'll know how long to make the sides. $75.25. I've been on hold forever making a phone call, so I thought I'd just try to do something. $75.25. Okay. I've cut both side frames now, so I'm securing the side, the pivot part. It's already installed on the bed frame itself, and I just drilled 2 holes. Let's see. One there. Okay, there's one. I'll do the other one, then we'll go inside and figure out what the length of the top needs to be. Well, all right, so I guess it's time to flip this thing over before I set the sides on. So let's see if I can do that. Okay, it's a little heavy, not too bad. Ooh, all right. That was a concern. Are you going to flip over? Actually, I need it to lay down anyway, so that I can snap them in. So I've popped them both in at the pivots, so they're snapped in together. Now I'm going to try to tip the two end pieces up. Hopefully the bed frame will hold it in position. Anybody nervous besides me? Voila! Look at that. Okay. Whew. All right. So they're in position. Well, sorry I couldn't show all of this. It's really tight quarters to the video. I can't back up enough to get a good view. I did put a top piece. I got the two side pieces up, and they're tied into the pivot points on the bed frame. And then I got this back header board. So I think we're ready to put it back in place and get it positioned correctly. So here we go. Oh yeah. I'm almost ready for a nap. I think, so let's see. I would like to be able to open the door more, but I can't go that way because the bed will hit the sink. Really close, really close. I believe typically the bed will be up, and so when the bed's up, the door will go all the way. Got a nice storage cabinet up above, storage shelf. I'm going to put a couple screws in. There, it's in place. Should we tip the bed all the way up and see what happens? I think we should. Please work, please work. Appears to be hitting, the bolts seem to be hitting each other here. There we go. Nice. Perfect. Ah, that is cool. Now I have to build the desk setup. There'll also be a pin that will go in here to hold this from falling down. The next step is to put on the gas pistons. These are what will help take some of the weight so it's not hard to put it up and down. They're marked really well. It says it's got an arrow, red arrow, so you know that this goes up. I attached these ahead of time. I don't think that's going to be a problem. I guess I'll know soon. But I'm going to do the ones on the bed, one on each side. And then, and I'll do the same process that I did for putting the pivot, what do you call those? Pivot, I don't know. Things that make the bed pivot. I'm going to, again, just put two screws to hold it in place while I drill it. Because they're saying use these screws, but I just don't feel comfortable with it like that. Okay, the gas pistons are both installed on the bottom. So now I'm going to tip this up and probably I might slide it into this corner. So it's kitty corner into here, and it'll help stabilize it a little bit. There, okay. We are safe. All right. I'm going to just push it in. So with it resting against that, I know that it's in, it'll be the same on both sides, so it'll be consistent. By having this tipped in more than what it would actually, it's in 2 inches at the top. So that's, once pressure is released, it's going to allow it to come back a little bit, and then it should sit flush. Should be great. As they say, there's always more than one way to skin a cat. So now I'll release this because I can't quite get in there to drill. So I just made an observation. This is how the diagram showed it to be installed. Let's just look at something here. This gas piston it's actually at quite an angle. I think this bracket should probably be on the inside. So I'm going to switch that over. I think it's well worth doing that. It is all installed to the wall, solid, and it pulls down really hard, and I'm not sure what to do about that. It has a lot of tension there. Once you get like past a certain point, it's pretty good. I'll have to read up on that. Okay, so I just spent about 5 hours installing these. They're gas-loaded rod spring things. Spent 5 hours, installed both of them, and then I tried. I had to install it with this up. You probably saw some of the steps of that. And this wasn't installed. It wasn't attached to the wall, but you had to attach the wall in order to try it. So it's still attached. It took forever to pull these off because what happened was, after with the bed up, well, let me just show you. Let me just show you. Because I'm going to secure it back up here. It doesn't weigh that much. That's maybe 40 pounds that I just picked up. Not terrible. But I have it all matched, so it lines up here well. I'm going to put a screw in this just to hold it short term. But when I tried to without this on, I pulled the handle and I actually had to get a big yank on it to get it to come down. And once I got it, once I was able to, it was really hard to pull it out to here, so it's about a 45-degree angle. The tension started evening out, so it was almost neutral. And then go a little bit further, and if I let go, it would drop. So and then when I put it back up, when I got to this point, it just started, it just really grabbed. It should have been like, to my understanding, those springs are gradual when they go up and they're gentle when they go down. This was neither. And I can't even find the name of this company, whatever it was. So I'm not using it. So after a frustrating 4 hours of putting them on and then finding out they didn't work, and then with this installed, listen to me whine, will you? With this installed to the wall, you can't get in there easily. It was a chore getting all, I didn't want to take this off. So I got it all done. So we're going with a different method. We're going to use a counterweight on the bottom. Let me show you. There'll be a counterweight mounted to here. What I did was buy a lolly column, an 8-foot lolly column. That's a concrete filled post. It's really heavy. So I'm going to secure it to here all the way across, and that should even it out. It should make it really well. So I'm going outside and cut the lolly column as we speak. I've marked the lolly column to this. It's 76 inches, so it'll be 2 inches shorter on each side than the bed. This steel casing is only maybe not even an 1/8 inch thick, maybe an 1/8 inch. So you can cut it with a diamond blade pretty easily. So I'll just cut around that and knock that off. Now I'll go inside, see if I can figure out how to secure this so it looks beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to try to mount this like right at this corner. I made up these temporary supports so the column can set right on there. The thing's pretty heavy, so I want to make sure I get it right the first time. So I'll run out and get it, see if I can lug it. It's pretty heavy. I don't know if I said that, but it's pretty heavy. Oof. Oh. Filled with concrete. So my intent is to take some of this, what's it called? What do they call it? What's the official name? Copper plated metal hanger strap. So strap it there. And then strap it over there so it'll be just like that. Hopefully it works. I'm ready to secure it. All of these straps have a screw underneath going up in. There's 8 of them, I think. And now I've got a clamp on here, and I'm just going to draw it up as tight as I can and run a screw through. Okay. Woo! What's the worst that could happen? So I'll pull out the 2 like sawhorses. Wow, that didn't even hardly drop. Let's try this one. Very good. Okay, that feels really solid. Now for the moment of truth, I want to see how much weight that's going to carry. Okay, so it does take some effort to get it up tight. I mean, it's not even 5 pounds pressure. Let's see. It is definitely lighter. We'll get it so it goes up like that, and I'll put a pin over to the side. I'm going to pretty this up with some square stock pine. So I've added a bolt. L-shape is actually an anchor bolt. Okay, I guess this is going to wrap up this video. I've been 2 days on this so far, and so I condensed it all the video into half an hour. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day, and make wise choices. Hey, and subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Leave a comment, hit the like button. Thanks. See you later.